Right now in Kerr County, parts of that area are currently under a flood watch.
Yeah, we'll have the latest on our breaking news in just a moment. But right now, we continue our coverage of the deadly floods in the Texas Hill Country. In fact, we go live to Lee Waldman joining us once again. So Lee, the sun's starting to rise. We're into our second week of searching. How has the heavy rain impacted what's going on there?
Jacob, Steph, good to be back with you. You mentioned it. The rain is still happening and the sun is up now. It feels like the rain picked up even a little bit since the last time that we spoke with you all. We know over the weekend it was also very rainy out here in Kerr County and in Kerrville itself, with lots of thunderstorms in the area, increasing that risk for additional flooding. And that actually put a temporary halt on those ground search efforts by first responders and volunteers who have been hard at work here for more than a week. Now, they had restarted again, but people in this area are on alert for any risk of flooding. You can see the river behind us fairly high. The water's moving quickly, just kind of adding to the difficulty that these crews are facing here.
Yeah, the rain definitely sounds louder than the last time we checked in with you last hour, Lee. And there have been continued calls for clarification on the FEMA response in that area. What are officials saying now?
Well, Steph, we're hearing from multiple of the urban search and rescue crews that have been deployed out that they weren't sent out into this area until Monday. That's 3 days after the flooding started here in Kerr County and other parts of the Texas Hill Country. And it's days after any live victims had been rescued from these floodwaters. Now, we are hearing that the officials are now pushing back on those reports. The Secretary Kristi Noem herself saying that these reports are false, that their teams were sent out quickly. There's also some new reporting from the New York Times that nearly 2/3 of the calls to these disaster assistance lines went unanswered. She's pushing back against that as well, saying this is some of the fastest deployment that we've seen from FEMA in decades. So she's saying that these reports are untrue, but we're hearing from sources on the ground and from some of these urban search and rescue crews that they had to wait to be deployed.
No doubt more on that to come. And before you go, the Kerr County commissioners, we understand, are going to meet today. So among all the things that they need to consider, what do we expect them to focus on this morning?
Well, Jacob, we know that flooding is going to be at the top of that agenda. It's something that they put out in the agenda notes saying they will, quote, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on following a status update on these ongoing search and recovery efforts. We're going to keep pushing them for answers about what happened in those critical hours from when that first alert went out just after 1 a.m. and when the floodwaters arrived here just before 5 a.m. here in Kerrville on Friday, the 4th of July. We also know that they're planning on approving some overtime spending for all of the crews who have been working tirelessly to try and recover the bodies of victims, to try and help those families of those victims find some closure.
All right, Lee Waldman, live for us in Kerr County this morning. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to help, KHOU 11 has joined all the Tegna stations from across the state to raise money to support the first responders, the residents, and the families who were impacted by the floods across the state. Just scan the QR code on your screen to donate.
So